Welcome everyone. Today we're going to walk through how to use the simple archive format, commonly referred to as SAF, for batch importing metadata and items in DSpace. SAF is one of the most flexible ways to move content in and out of a DSpace repository, and it's especially useful when working with large batches of items. In this session, we'll look at what SAF is and how to manually create the structure required for batch importing items into DSpace. Before getting started, you will want to have a text editor like Visual Studio Code, Notepad, or Sublime. If you are comfortable on the command line, you can use Terminal, PuTTY, or PowerShell to run commands to create the SAF structure. Here is a quick overview of what a SAF zip contains. It's important to understand the layout because DSpace relies on this hierarchy when importing or exporting items. This includes numbered item subfolders for each item. Each item folder contains the Dublin Core XML file containing metadata, the contents file that maps Bitstreams listing the assets, the actual Bitstream files, and an optional collections file to map items to different collections. Once the structure is set up, the root folder is zipped for import into DSpace. A tip to get you started is to export an existing collection to see what the files look like, as DSpace bulk exports in SAF. Navigate to the admin sidebar and select Export, Export Batch Zip. Select the collection you want to export and click Export. Once the process is complete, you'll have a link to download your file. Unzip the downloaded file and inspect the contents to understand the structure. Using the Dublin Core.xml file as a template for creating the metadata XML for your items is a good idea. Now let's start building our SAF structure. First, we'll create the root SAF directory. You can create a folder like you normally would on your Mac or Windows machine and click into the directory. If you are on Linux or using the command line, run the makedir command to create the simple archive format directory and cd into that directory. Once in the root directory, make your item folders. The naming convention for item folders is item underscore leading zeros followed by a sequential number. Each item you are uploading requires a numbered subdirectory in the root folder. Add your Bitstreams to their respective subdirectories. Here are two examples of a single file item and a multi-file item. For each item, you will create an XML file with the required metadata. Each metadata value is a DC value element with optional qualifiers. Next, we need to create a contents file. The contents file is a plain text file listing the file names of the Bitstreams you are uploading. File names are entered one per line. You can also assign a bundle for the Bitstream by adding a tab character \t to indicate the appropriate bundle for your Bitstream. If a bundle isn't specified, the Bitstream goes into the default original bundle. You can also include an optional collections file if you are uploading multiple items into different collections. It is similar to the contents file, but instead of file names, you will list the handle of the collection you want the item to be assigned to. Once you're done creating the SAF structure, you'll want to validate it, and it should look something like this, where your root directory contains subfolders for each item with the appropriate naming convention. Inside the subdirectories, you should have a contents file, a Dublin Core XML file, Bitstreams, and an optional collections file if you are uploading to multiple collections. Once you have validated the SAF structure, you are ready to zip the file. From the parent directory, zip the file using your operating system zip tool. It's best practice to validate your SAF prior to importing. Navigate to the admin sidebar and select Import Batch Import Zip. Make sure the box for Validate Only is checked. Select the desired collection. Select your zip file and click Proceed. Once the process runs, you'll be able to view a log of the process. Click Retrieve Process Output. Note that the first line of the log indicates that no items have been uploaded. Continue reviewing the logs. If your log is clear of errors, you're ready to import. In the admin sidebar, navigate to Import Batch Import Zip. Uncheck the Validate Only box. Search for the collection you want to upload and upload your file. You can view the process output to confirm your upload was successful or to troubleshoot any errors. Once you've confirmed the upload was successful, you can navigate to your newly added items to review the import. Check that all the items in Bitstreams have been added. Review the metadata for completeness and accuracy. Before we wrap up, here are some things to keep in mind for successful bulk uploads using SAF. Use the validate feature before attempting to upload. All uploads through the DSpace UI, including SAF packages, are subject to both the per file and cumulative upload limits. The default for both is 512 megabytes. Exceeding that limit is the #1 reason why batch imports fail. Export an existing collection to see what the files look like. Use the metadata XML file from an export as a basis for your metadata XML file. If you ever have any questions about anything in your DSpace Direct repository, please send us a help desk ticket by simply emailing dspacedirect@lyrasis.org. Thank you.